All right, science fiction people, it is time to turn from science fiction to science fact, or at least science less fiction. For this assignment, we're going to be taking a look at a documentary called Do You Trust This Computer, which is kind of a detailed look at artificial intelligence, which I think is a great stepping point for us because we're going to be getting into talking about artificial intelligence, studying that. Some of you may be reading novels that deal with AI, or maybe you're not yet, but it is something that I think is going to be an aspect of our lives. Maybe you have a cell phone, perhaps. Maybe it has Siri or Alexa or whatever. But smart devices are part of our lives, and although they are not terribly smart compared to what AI could be one day, they are something to be thinking about. So this film is an opportunity for us to look at a couple different things. One, obviously AI, but two, the possibilities and the risks of what could happen if we do set AI loose. If you're reading Robopocalypse, that's kind of a horrific story of what could happen and how humans are going to get wiped out. Maybe you're watching or reading something a little bit more benign, where you just have helpful robots that are looking out for us and enhancing life, because I don't think technology is going away unless we have a giant conflict and like all of our technology is reduced to ash. I think it's most likely that we're going to have technology for a long time. So AI is coming around the corner. So this video looks at that, and what I'm going to have you do is study the actual like storytelling of how they get the information to you, but then also pay attention to what you're learning. I'm not asking you to believe everything that they're saying. I'm asking you to question who they are, what is their purpose, what are they trying to tell you, which is something you should do with anything that I say to you or anybody says to you or anything that you're studying. You should be critical. If you're just waiting for me to fill your head with knowledge, then you better trust that I am going to give you good knowledge and I have your best interest at heart, which I do. But I don't think that everybody always does. And I think just because something is a documentary doesn't make it capital T true. I happen to think that a lot of this is good information, but I also, I'm not an artificial intelligence, so I don't know how I would feel about it or how it would feel about it, if it would feel anything about it, which maybe isn't the direction to go. But here's what you're going to do. So I want you to fill out this grid while we're looking at it. I want you, and this will expand while you type. Tell me about the different people and what are three of the big fears that you learn about throughout the course of the film and why you agree or disagree with them. And I'm most interested in the detail of what kinds of things they tell us to watch out for. So these should be three different things that you're putting in here. And I am looking at your writing and everything, but I'm mostly looking at your details. Number two is you kind of have to read between the lines because they do spend a lot of time talking about the things that we could potentially run into as problems. But I want you to think about what the benefits could be of having artificial intelligence. How would it enhance life for humanity? Because ultimately, isn't that the point? I don't think people are creating AI to make another life form on the planet exactly, although there might be some mad scientist types that are hoping to do that. And who am I to say otherwise? I mean, Wall-E is AI. And he's pretty fantastic. So, but then again, so was the Terminator, and so is Roy Batty, who we will get to, and so was the HAL 9000. This guy right here, this thing right here, which is, well, as I said earlier, we're going to be getting to that. We're going to be getting to some artificial intelligence and talking about that. For number three, which I believe is the last question for you. I want you to be questioning some of these experts or memorable characters or people that we learn from. Some are experts, some are just really learned people who know what they're talking about, but other ones might just be people who are working in the field. We don't have any, I guess we don't have any people who don't know what they're talking about, but what can you learn from these three people, you know, Elon Musk, Jonathan Nolan, and John Markoff, who you've heard of Elon Musk. He's the director of Tesla and SpaceX, and he is, you know, for all his shenanigans, you know, being on Joe Rogan and like being outspoken and all the oversized things he does, he's a smart person at heart. And so I think when he talks about things, it's important to maybe hear him out. Jonathan Nolan is a really fascinating person. He's the brother of Christopher Nolan, who is the director of movies like Interstellar, Inception, Tenet, The Dark Knight, and whatever. But he's also a writer and director in his own right. He's the writing partner of Chris's. And he was also the person who created and directed Westworld, which is a really interesting and important artificial intelligence TV show on HBO. Way too awesome for school, but you could definitely check it out for Project 3, which we'll get to. And John Markoff is a writer who is kind of an investigative journalist. And then I'd like you to pick a fourth person that you learned something from the story. All right. So a lot of this is a study of like you learning about artificial intelligence, which I'd imagine you know something about. But I also want you studying the way that we learn about artificial intelligence. So it's kind of both at the same time. All right. So I look forward to what you come up with. Email, let me know if you're having trouble with any of the technical stuff. And I'd like to see how this turns out for you. Okay.